What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for Rurouni Kenshin. This is episode 42, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. This was a very dialogue heavy episode with pretty much obviously no action, but it's mainly just building up to the upcoming I don't know if you could really say it a finale, but it's I guess
the climax of the
the climax. Yeah. So Kenshin sends a letter to the Onewaban that he's asking him to protect Kyoto while he and Sanosuke are heading over to Osaka to face off against Shishio. I think they're gonna face off against Shishio over there. And of course, most of the conversation was them in a horse cart, just talking about how they're just gonna go about stopping Shishio and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and of course, every so often there's this I guess because Sanosuke is sitting on the top of the cart the whole time, and what was it?
Saito.
Yeah, he keeps trying to stab at him, just because I guess he's annoying him or whatever.
Yeah.
I've noticed I've mentioned this before. I've noticed there's been an increase in I guess you'd say the slapstick comedy stuff. In the recent episodes, and I've actually started reading the manga, and it's just funny to me. As I felt like, from what I remember of the remake in the first season, at least, it feels like in comparison there's way less comedy scenes, but it feels like in these recent episodes they've I don't know, there's been more that they put in there, or at least it feels that way to me. But
yeah, it's showcasing somewhat of a Kenshin and his friends' goofy nature at times.
Yeah.
Which is complete 180 from back when Kenshin was the Batosai during his early days. But
yeah, but I kind of like that contrast, at least in the manga, and maybe even so in the original series. How there's it seems like there's more of a contrast of just the lighthearted comedy scenes and then the more serious darker stuff. But here it's just I guess that's kind of maybe somewhat of a bit of an issue I have with the remake, is that it feels like the tone, it's trying to be serious most of the time. So then when the comedy stuff comes up, it's a little bit jarring, I guess, that because it wasn't really there the whole time.
Yeah. It's a weird balance of how they're trying to handle this sort of stuff. We had we had that we had that fight scene with Okina and Aoshi, during that fight, in which I think Okina nearly died by Aoshi's hand, and then of course we get into the training arc with Kenshin and his master, and then now we're here with like I said, it's very dialogue heavy, and
there's just been a lot of build up to this the Kyoto fire, and I get why. I guess they're spending so much time on it, but it just feels like the pace is just slowed almost to a crawl, just for us to get to that point, and we're not getting there until I guess the next episode.
Much of this episode also transitions us to many minor characters, in particular one of Saito's police chiefs. He puts him in charge of protecting Kyoto. And then we see this guy again later, in which he tells a kid wielding a katana, saying that he needs to go home to his family, so on and so forth. Then we switch to another scene.
Well, I want to point something out too. Apparently, this is just from what I've heard, because I haven't read this part of the manga, because I just started reading the manga, and I still haven't watched all the original series. But apparently, according to people that have, the scene with this kid and the police chief, this wasn't in, or it wasn't really in the original series. That kid apparently wasn't in the original series, and the police chief was, but he was they didn't really focus on his character at all. I guess he was a background character, and here they're trying to, I guess, put more focus on him, and his, I guess his relationship with this kid, or him, that's that scene with him telling the kid that he doesn't need to get his hands dirty, because the kid is volunteering to help with the Kyoto fires, or to help with the defense of Kyoto.
Yeah.
And he eventually just tells him he needs to just go home, or well, the kid is, or just tells him he should just watch, I guess. Um,
Yeah. And then we transition to another scene in which we see like several several guys apparently working with Shishio, getting ready to start their uprising in Kyoto. And then we see another scene with Shishio alongside members of the Ten Swords, uh, revealing that well, pretty much revealing that he has a battleship ready to go uh, against the Meiji government.
the Rengoku.
Uh, yeah, the Rengoku. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was called. Um, I think what else happened, and then we see some of the Oniwaban Kunoichi women getting ready to. I guess they're trying to infiltrate a building. You mentioned that there was a change. At this
Yeah, this is
scene.
another of, I guess, another scene that wasn't in the original, or that is different. I forget the guy's name, but the big fat guy who's one of the Ten Swords. Yeah,
Mhm.
he ends up like finding the two women, and of course they cut away before anything happens. But apparently there is, I guess, a fight scene with these. I don't know if it's with these two characters, but with him and some other characters, I guess, like later on. So this, I guess, wasn't supposed to happen yet. Um, I'm also wondering like what that giant like blade was that they were like hoisting up. Like I don't know what that was about. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, overall, I can't really say it's the best episode. I mean,
mm.
it's
It's more
mostly
of a
just
setup
yeah,
episode. I mean, it's
yeah,
like the episode. I feel like the last episode too was also like sort of a setup episode. This feels like
yeah,
another one. But at least like in the next episode, we're finally getting to the climax. I mean, I'm hoping it's good because it just feels like there's been so much build up to it. Um, and I know apparently like the reason for some of these changes is because and I didn't really know this until like recently, but apparently the mangaka who worked on Kenshin is like supervising the remake. So a lot of the, I guess, the changes that are being made are things that he wanted to do when he was originally writing the manga, but he couldn't do it, or he I
yeah,
guess regretted the way that some story arcs played out in the manga, and he wished he could have gone back and done some things differently.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, for me, like I haven't read any of the manga,
Yeah.
uh, back then. Like I said, like I've always been with every other anime that I watch. Like I'm mostly just going into this like as an anime original, viewer. Like I
Or I guess it's
rarely
just
even
someone who's watched the '96
yeah,
series.
yeah, pretty much. Um, yeah, and it's also been a while since I even watched the '90s series too. I mean, I'll probably have to look back into it to see like just to see those like certain changes that they made back then. Well, from what they did from back then. Um, but yeah, well, I mean, overall, it was an okay episode. I mean, it's not the best. I mean, um, it was an all like setup episode for the upcoming Kyoto Inferno arc that's coming up. But pretty much for like I would say for the finales portions of the season.
Yeah. I thought it was good. It's just like it's just really clear that they're, I guess, taking their time to really uh, set up this climax and get certain things out of the way before they get to, I guess, the climax of the season. But I think overall, like from what I've seen of season two, I would say it seems like it's somewhat of an improvement over season one in my opinion. I think I feel like overall it's been a lot better. Um, but I've enjoyed season one too, so I don't think it was bad. Some people thought it wasn't, I guess it wasn't that good, and maybe in comparison to the season two, but I think they were both pretty good. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this episode though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the climax starting next week and see how it all plays out before the
Yeah.
finale by the end of the season.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, so that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.